Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode on Gloryreds FC. I'm joined with my boy all the way from the UK. What's good, Pastor D?
What's happening, my guy? What's happening? Everything is well,
It's
man.
all good, man. It's all good. It feels good.
Yeah,
I'm sure our listeners have been wondering who are these guys?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Who are these guys? Can you please put a face to the name?
yeah.
So I'm Don Benito, and that's my guy D,
What's good,
and we are
yo?
going to take on the match preview today. So
Yep,
D, quite a few things to talk about today, man.
yeah, man. Um,
Um,
yeah,
the Gaffer hasn't had his press conference yet, right?
yeah. He hasn't just had it yet.
But we are still going to have an idea because there's a lot of news. There's been a lot of traffic going on in Manchester United, especially with injuries and possible returns. And we are here to discuss what we are assuming is going to happen because this Everton game is not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah,
It is going to be another one of those, like I don't even know where your mind is at with this game, but I am a little bit worried.
yeah,
But yeah, we're gonna discuss that. But what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts going into this weekend?
yeah, man. First of all, like, I'm excited. I'm happy. You know, whenever football returns, especially Premier League football, club football. Let me just say, I'm really happy. Like, I'm not someone who really follows like international football. I'm not gonna lie. Like I usually
Yeah,
watch like the Euros, World Cup, the normal stuff. You know what I mean? Copa,
yeah,
etc. You check. But during
yeah,
like the qualifying stages, I'm not really that bothered unless it's like two giants, two big teams that are playing together, and I'll be like, all right, you know what I mean? Let me watch this game. So I'm just really happy
yeah.
that club football is returned and we're gonna be playing this weekend, Sunday match, Sunday afternoon, you know what I mean? Perfect. Playing Everton. Everton are like I don't want to say they're like really our rivals, but they are a team
But they
that
are.
exactly, you know what I mean. They are a team that over the years, have we've had this sort of like rivalry. I don't know if because maybe they're based in Liverpool, Merseyside, all of that nonsense. You check.
Maybe.
So
I think so. I
yeah,
think so.
so anything that's just affiliated with Liverpool, it's like, yeah, you are just, by nature our rivals. But I am excited about this game, fam. I am. I'm really looking forward to watching this game. It's going to be um a really good match, like you
Yeah.
said, and what we discussed in the previous one, that these guys got that 10-point deduction. They're really looking forward to making up the lost points.
A
And
statement.
exactly, a statement. And like we discussed, like, United the most on form team this season. Not this season, but for these previous 5 games picked up the most points. But when you
It's so
look at
weird when you say that, G.
yeah, because literally, I mean, we said it in stark contrast, right? Like Everton have scored more goals than us in the previous 5 games, so they're on better scoring form than what we are in. And
Yeah.
obviously, we want to be talking about injuries later and players and etc. etc. But it's gonna be a tough match. It's not gonna be a walk in the park. We're playing away. We're playing at Goodison Park. We're playing away, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's an away match. Yeah, we're playing away, so it's gonna be a tough crowd. I'm pretty sure like Everton do not want to start off, you know, from their point deduction on a loss. You know what I mean? They want to kick it off the ground running, and United are not yet what you call this we're not yet stable. We're not yet stable.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We're not yet stable. We're still building up to that. So they're definitely gonna take advantage of that and try and exploit us. So whereas we've been like sort of up and down with our performances, yes, we do have individual players that have stepped up and have really like added so much value back into the team. On the other hand, like Everton as a whole is progressively getting better. Whereas with us, we're the individual players are getting better, but not like as a whole, as a team. So
Yeah.
I think because of that, it plays into Everton's favor that they are more organized as a team, you know, for them to be at better odds, to win the game. And with us, we have to rely on those individual players that are becoming better, who are getting back to form. We have to now rely on that individual brilliance to carry us through that game. But yeah, man, those are like my initial thoughts about the game. That it will be a tough one. Obviously, we'll get to our predicted, you know what I mean, score towards the end of this
lineup
episode.
and scores. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
lineup and score. But yeah, man. But what about yourself, man? How are you feeling about this match?
Um, Man, first things like I want to say is we have a very big injury boost. Roberto Carlos is back.
Yeah,
Now, I don't know to what capacity because you know how it is with players coming back from injury. I always have this thing where it's like I'm never too sure whether the manager is going to play the player or if he's going to ease him in. And hey, man, Luke Shaw's position is one that we have been lacking this season, and I'm just excited, man. I'm excited that Roberto Carlos is back. But
yeah,
I think maybe now we are going to see a different Rashford because I really tried to think of one player that actually complements Rashford,
yeah,
and there's only one player, and that's Luke Shaw.
yeah,
I tried. I thought he was gonna have that combination with Martial, but Martial, obviously, like we said, we are protecting him. We're bubble wrapping him, so he's not going to be as consistent on the pitch and be able to create those that COVID combination that he used to have with
COVID
Rashford. You
Martial.
remember?
Yeah,
I always call it the COVID Martial, COVID
COVID
Rashford, because
Martial. Hey, man.
that's the best way to make people remember.
Yeah, yeah,
So that COVID period, man, that combination of Rashford and Martial and Greenwood was mint.
yeah,
Now Luke Shaw played a huge role in that, and also
yeah,
last season with Rashford's good form, Luke Shaw was in that side with him, bombing and assisting him. Whether he was running down that line, making it to the baseline, he was always there. So I'm really, really excited about Luke Shaw's return. I mean, I
yeah,
know it's just one player, but then we are slowly, slowly getting back our players. I mean, yeah, we say that the season is still far,
yeah,
but people are getting injured. A lot
yeah,
of players are getting injured. Some
yeah,
players that have been playing this season are going back to the doctor's table. You know,
yeah,
so it's just one of those things. So I'm just happy. I'm
yeah,
just happy because we don't have to worry about the balance when it comes to that left hand side.
yeah,
So I'm really, really stoked about that. Like he's the literally the only person I'm excited about coming into this game because
yeah,
if we beat or if we play better, it's gonna be vindication for what we've been saying all along. Because
yeah,
everybody's been coming down our throats saying that yeah, Man United this, cool, we understand, but understand this: United has been plagued with injuries from day one.
yeah,
Day one, people are only now being sympathetic or sort of understanding the situation because they're also riddled with injuries. You know, people are now understanding the game times. Like
yeah,
players are injured. These international break, players
yep,
got injured. A lot
yep,
of players are injured. So people are now starting to see it and are like, well, it's too late. You know,
yeah,
we are excited that some of our players were. I mean, it's cringe to say that we had our players injured back then and now we're happy because, but it is. It's the
yeah,
truth.
yeah,
So yeah, man, yeah. If we
yeah,
start playing good football with at least one more addition, because we saw the change when Aaron Wan-Bissaka came on,
yeah,
we saw it was day and night.
yeah,
So with Luke Shaw, if he can come back on and
yeah,
create the same effect, then I think at the back will be more comfortable, and then I think the pressure
yeah,
might not be really, really relieved, but then the pressure for these forward players will be sort of relieved. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But
yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Um, I wanted to talk about um, there's this thing going on about I don't know if you've noticed it.
Okay,
People are sort of starting to pick up on the form of the players and all that preseason thing. I don't know if you've noticed that.
okay. In what sense?
In the sense that people are now the players or there are stories coming out of the players saying that nah the managers worked us too hard during the
Yeah,
preseason,
yeah, yeah,
blah blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah,
And I'm now like okay, so now we're sort of starting to get some sort of idea and what the truth is shaping up.
yeah,
Now with all that being said, is it um Is it right for us now to be like, okay, fine, you didn't start off the season well? Yes, you could say that you were knackered, but now we are in this other period. Like the season has already started. Like we're now moved in.
Yeah,
What are your excuses now? Because you've been playing football, you've been trying to get your form back and your fitness back. What is your excuse now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you, and the thing with this whole Ten Hag is too strict. He's overworking us. We're playing too much football.
Mm.
This is not something that's new, right? We heard these
Yeah,
things last season. So
yeah,
the difference from last season and this season is last season we're playing decently well, right? We're competitive. We went to finals. We won a cup. We finished third. You understand? There's a lot of positive
yeah.
energy around United. So we sort of dismissed it, you know, and sort of like how we dismissed a lot of things last season because we were doing so well in one aspect. So it's so hard to like give two things the same amount of energy, you know, you either have to dedicate like a lot of your energy towards one thing and then the other one would slack or vice versa. So because last season we're doing so well, like we didn't really find room or time to like really explore, those things that are coming out of the camp. And then this season, same thing, right? Um, it's probably happening more so this season because of our poor performances, the results, lack of goal scoring, etc. And now it's like I don't know if it's the media or the players that are trying to find an excuse for that, right?
Mm,
Oh, you
mm,
know,
mm,
we look naked because we are being overtrained and it's too strict, you know what I mean, or whatever, we're not scoring goals because of XYZ, etc. So you look at this international break, there's literally been no United football, right? Apart from the first derby, women's derby, Manchester derby, which we lost, sucks. But anyway, um, I you know what, Neben, sorry to sidetrack for a bit. I actually wanted to watch
yeah,
that match. I wanted to, but that day I think I was
yeah.
working or something like that, so I never got to watch the match. But I really wanted to watch the match, and we started off well because I was
My,
checking the score, and I'm like 1-0.
yeah,
You know what I mean? At least
yeah.
we can win it. At least if the guys can't do it, then at least the women
Let the
team can
ladies
pull it
do it.
through.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know what happened, fam. End of game
but for
three
me,
one.
I wasn't able to watch it because of electricity.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was gonna watch it on my phone, and I needed the Wi-Fi, and no, I was like, I
Yeah.
did,
Nah, I hear
I
you.
did.
But yeah, man, back to my point. So
Yeah,
obviously during this international break, there's been nothing to talk about. So media, they're just bored. Let's go pick up on this story. We've got 2 weeks to run this story. You know what I mean? Make so much about it. Get the paper selling. Hey, players are complaining, this, and that. And then you know what they like doing is because they like to start contrast, right? So they'll see how Man United players are playing for their countries and then they'll start making
yeah,
direct comparisons immediately.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Look at Facundo, but he's not starting for Ten Hag. He
yeah,
scored a goal. Look at Bruno. You know what I mean? Because he rested or because he was substituted. You check what I'm saying? Look, Kobe
yeah.
Mainoo's captaining under 19, and he put two in his two assists. You check. So then they wait for that opportunity like vultures, fam. You check. So
Mm,
these things that have always been there, right? And trust me, the start of this weekend when football kicks off, you're going to hear like no news come out about that again. It's gonna dwindle down until we probably
yeah,
lose or something like that, and then they'll find a way to spin it back to Ten Hag and say no. But anyway, they were overplayed before the international break. You check.
mm,
And funny enough, like when I was watching a lot of like um these football punditry, channels, ESPN and whatever, a lot
yeah.
of them. Because remember we had this discussion about why didn't some of the players just pull out, especially from these countries where they've already qualified? Why do these managers and coaches want their biggest hitting players in the team? For what? This is an opportunity
Exactly.
for them to also give other players that they had in mind an opportunity to play that never got a chance to play during those stages where they're
Otherwise,
trying to
yeah,
qualify. You check what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I didn't play this player enough. Let me play him during this international break. And also look at, okay, has he also been playing for his club enough minutes? All right, here's an opportunity for him to get minutes. Example, for Kundo Palestri. You check for Uruguay. He hasn't been getting minutes at Man United. It makes sense for him to go and get minutes because he wants to play football. You understand what I mean? Now you're looking at a player like Marcus Rashford, who has played every single game last season, this season. played injured, and now England have already qualified. Why is he still playing? You understand?
Yeah.
He's not even on good form, but Southgate is putting him in the team. Madness. And now we had an injury scare with him colliding into Trent Alexander
Right.
Arnold. You check what I'm saying, and that could have been a huge disaster for us. You know, so
Would it really? I
it
mean,
it
yes.
would look.
I mean, you know what's funny, D?
Yeah.
You know, Rashford, like this season, is crazy because if we were to lose Rashford right now, I personally, honestly don't think we would miss him because of his form. However,
Okay.
that's the fact that we don't have Rashford on the team. That would have just sent panic throughout everywhere. That because
Yes. Yes.
regardless of him not being on form, people would like him to be fit, just to be
Yes.
there. Like he should be an
Exactly.
option to come off the bench.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. You check. So, despite him not being on form, he's still a good option off the bench, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why, yes, we may not want him to be starting games, but we'll still like him to be involved in the team because we know that he can still add something. You know what I mean? He can
True.
still pull defenders away. He can still break bypass defenders. He can still make something happen. You know what I mean? Out of thin air. So we want him fit. You understand what I'm saying? So
I think.
yeah, now where was I? We meandered so far. Yeah, this whole thing about the players, that the training camp is too straight and they're being, overtrained and that and this and this. Like, it'll come to pass. You know what I mean? It'll come to pass. I don't know how serious we need to take these allegations, but within the United camp, these are complaints that we've had since Ole. Players are being overplayed. They're not given enough time to take a break. Da, da, da. So I don't know if this is something Ten Hag will address coming from this international break. Maybe the noise rang too loud, and now he's hearing it. So maybe he may decide to say, okay, you know what? I don't need to play Bruno 90 minutes, 5 games back to back. You know, if a game is won, let me take him off. Let me start making
Interesting you
the
mentioned that.
the what you call this the necessary substitutions, because it's not just about taking off players, but it's also about who you bring in, right? And we've seen so many times this season where we've made the wrong substitute and it has cost us. So that's something that Ten Hag also needs to work on. Besides taking out players, he also needs to work on who do I need to bring on, in order to like see out the game and not bring in players and we absolutely fold. You check. So
Mm.
yeah, man, that's my thoughts about this whole rumor thing.
You know,
Not rumor thing,
you
but
know,
this story that's out
uh-huh.
there. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I read something very interesting about the gaffer
Okay.
and this whole situation with Rafael Varane. And it's funny because we talked about this, not about Varane, but we talked
Yeah.
about the gaffer. You remember during that chaos, like when there was just a madness, injuries, players were just pop. I mean, they're still pop until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We went through a chaotic period, and we started to notice like the manager was picking players that he felt like were going to be playing for him.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, this article I read was something that actually made sense to me on so many levels
Okay.
because it kind of drew a timeline of things that are happening and how the manager has been working and his mentality towards certain things and how this mix up is actually not really a big deal if you think about it.
All right.
So you see how obviously when we start off the season of like when we start off the season we were not good. Players looked unfit,
Yeah.
knackered. It was just madness. And then people started picking up injuries, right?
Yeah.
After picking up those injuries, it was like, okay, what do we do? Because obviously at this point the club are not buying the players that he needs and wants to replace. Maguire didn't want to bounce. It was
Yeah.
all this madness going on in the club. So
Yeah.
fine, he does what a manager should do,
Yeah.
is work with what he's got.
Yeah.
So he puts in Harry Maguire, and lo and behold, for some reason, not for some reason, let me not shit on Maguire's star right now. No, I take
Yeah.
it back. I take it
Yeah.
back. Maguire picks up form and
Okay.
doesn't like. he starts playing well, and then he cements his position.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we've noticed or we've all known about the gaffer is that once you give him consistency, he's gonna pick you.
Yeah.
Except for Rashford. Rashford is the only player, maybe, and Bruno.
Yeah.
But everybody else, if you are not consistent, like he will find ways to chop and change.
Mm.
So unfortunately for Varane, he lost his place when he was injured.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So fine, he gets back into form. Like he's injury free. He's back. He thinks he's just going to slide back into the starting lineup
Yeah.
because he was the ace.
Yeah.
He's our World Cup, Ballon d'Or world class defender. He thinks he's just gonna slide in. Unfortunately for him, Eric Ten Hag doesn't want to disturb the momentum that Maguire is on,
Yeah.
and it makes absolute sense.
True.
It really does.
Yeah.
However, the mix-up now comes in that Varane feels like he should have started during the derby.
Yeah.
This is where the issue was because it was
Okay.
like, why did he? I think he said, why did he pick Evans over him? But then the gaffer explained that it was a tactical approach, which makes sense now. Listen to this. No, listen to this.
All right. All right. All
Because
right.
Maguire, listen, because Maguire was already on form. Maguire,
Yeah.
he doesn't trust Maguire playing on the left. He
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
He would rather Maguire play on the right. So
Mm.
he left Maguire in the position that Varane occupies.
Okay.
And he doesn't trust Varane to play on the left
Yeah.
because Varane is a right footed. So he decided to play Evans. And
Evans.
Evans, contrary to popular belief, or people don't believe this, but he's very good with his left. Like
Yeah.
if there's anybody else you substitute after, um, like now when you're going down the pecking orders, like you're
Yeah.
picking fit players,
Yeah.
Luke Shaw will be the first for Martinez, right? And
Yeah.
then you have the Regulon, and then you have Evans. When you're thinking about people who are fit, young, whatever, when you take all that into consideration.
Yeah.
And then it clicked. It made sense to me. That I'm like, okay, now I understand. The gaffer didn't do anything wrong. He explained something that was, no, no, listen, D. Okay, listen.
All right. All right. All
Not
right.
picking Varane, not picking Varane was wrong. But you
Yes.
need to understand that he was going based on the momentum of what he was feeling.
Yeah.
Taking out Maguire was going to disturb Maguire's flow because
Yeah.
rightfully so, he had been performing throughout. Like
Yeah.
he came on there when these players were injured, and we were worried. Like we were like, yeah, Maguire this. Then he holds his own. Then we had like a clean sheet game, and then clean sheet in another. Then we lose those other big games. But then there were those young clean sheets. So he was trying to maintain that. So now I understand where the issue was because people were wondering what's going on with Varane.
Yeah.
So this that I was explaining is just so that people can understand how things got to where they are.
Yeah.
If they're wondering why Varane is not playing, it's not because he's not good enough. No,
Yeah.
Varane lost his position because he was injured, and the gaffer
Yeah.
has been using players that are playing for him, like players that have been consistent for him, and then he feels like are in a momentum or in a groove that he
Yeah.
doesn't want to disturb. Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel,
Look,
and that's why Varane has lost his position.
I
But now
hundred.
it has obviously soured, and
Yeah.
things,
Like I
yeah,
100% agree with you, right? But I
yeah,
still
yeah,
refuse on the Evans thing, right? I still
the
believe he.
tactical thing,
I still be. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not calling cap, but I hear your explanation. It makes sense. It's
yeah,
logical.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
when I was listening to you, I sort of felt like this was the explanation that we needed from Ten Hag. Then I think there would have been less
yeah,
frustration because the fan base would have
yeah,
understand or understood where it was coming from, right? But
yeah.
not starting Varane, you know what I mean, over Evans, that one I can't accept it. I don't care
I
about
one
you don't
hundred
trust
percent
with your left
agree with
foot,
you.
right foot, what I don't care. We're playing Man City, put Varane, you know what I mean? He'll figure it out. He's a world-class defender, he can adapt. That should not be a problem, right? And I think sometimes Ten Hag is just way too textbook. And I also, and I'm gonna repeat this because I said it before that Ten Hag needs to realize and wake up that he's in the Premier League. You know, Maybe such textbook stuff can work in Farmers League, like Eredivisie and whatever. No disrespect, but maybe those type of tactics can work in your favor in those type of leagues. But in the Premier League, it's almost, I don't know why I like referring to what you call it, to anime. Sorry guys, I love animes. There's this anime called
I
One
mean,
Piece.
man,
Yeah.
I'm in there. I'm in there. I'm in
I
there.
don't know if you've watched One Piece.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I just finished Jujutsu Kaisen yesterday. My
Man, I
God.
still need to finish Jujutsu Kaisen, and I started that thing.
You.
And you know what's so funny? I started anyway. Let me get to my point so I don't sidetrack too much. Yeah. So anyway, there's this series called anime called One Piece, and in One Piece you've got your main character. It's Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, right? And he's aiming to become the greatest pirate king, whatever. But anyway, in order for him to find this One Piece, it's located on this strip of water, whatever sea. It's called the Grand Line, right? Now, once you enter the Grand Line, anything and everything goes. Nothing there makes sense. You can't use like a what you call this, like an ordinary compass to navigate. You have to get like a special compass that's gonna navigate you within this Grand Line. Because it's just so complex and things don't work like they work in other seas and other regions of the world. So that's how I sort of see Premier League, right? These other leagues are like, these different normal oceans that exist. And then Premier League is the Grand Line. You don't come with common sense from other leagues. It's not going to work, in the Premier League, things just don't make sense. You'll just find like Bournemouth get beat 9 today and go and beat City 2-1 tomorrow. You understand what I mean? Like nothing
Yeah.
makes sense. So you can't say, oh, okay, tactically speaking, because on paper, you know what I mean? Varane is not technically good with his left and Evans is, I'm going to balance it out so it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. This is the Premier League, you know? If you're going to face Man City, you fucking bring out everybody. You know what I mean? You bring out the Trojans, you bring out the everybody with the Asa guys, everything. You know what I mean? You throw the whole kitchen and the
I'm
sink.
assuming those are anime references, right?
Well, Trojan, not really. This is just like
But
history
okay.
and great armies. You know what I mean? As a
Okay,
guy,
okay, okay.
Shaka Zulu. Yeah. So I was just
Okay,
making
okay,
reference to
okay.
like, you know what I
Alright,
mean?
alright,
Like
alright.
you bring out the forces. You understand what I
Yeah.
mean? We're
Bring
playing
out the
Man
cow.
City. Exactly. You don't
Mm,
have time to start. Hey, let me play freaking Evans. You know what I mean? Really, you want to put Evans up against Erling Haaland, and provided yes, Erling Haaland was not on form when he's coming to play against us, but he still managed to bag, what was it, 2 goals or a goal?
a break.
Exactly, he managed to bag in 2 goals.
Yeah, a break.
Yeah, 2 goals, and then I think Phil Foden had the third goal or something like that. So
Mm.
yeah, man, like Ten Hag needs to wake up and be like, look, I'm in the fucking Grand Line, I'm in the Premier League, right? I need to start figuring out how it works in this league and not sort of bring the tactics, not sort of bring the not tactics, but bring the whole like philosophy or whatever, from the Eredivisie and say what I did there, I'm gonna do here. No, and then that's why I believe that's how a lot of managers fail, and a lot of managers quickly realize that in their first season. So you'll find a lot of managers, big managers. I don't know which big manager came into the Premier League first time around and did well. You know, most of them, maybe even all of them, first season they got humbled, and they're like, oh, okay,
That
okay,
Tuchel.
okay, huh?
Tuchel.
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 Yeah, but remember, didn't Tuchel come like mid-season? Like he just came towards the end of the season, and then he won
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then he went and won the Champions League. And then the following season, what happened to him? You know, it wasn't like smooth
Yeah,
sailings. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So when you think about it, this wait, what about Conte? Um, Chelsea, did he win?
Conte first Chelsea, he won the Prem.
Yeah. That's an exception. But I mean, when you look at Pep, he didn't just come first season and just run riot. You check what I'm saying.
No,
After that
no.
season, what happened? You just started seeing more players leaving. You know what I mean? He started bringing in different players. Like those, a lot of change that was happening around the club. Same thing with Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. You check, got humbled. Everyone was laughing at Klopp, saying Klopp is not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. 3 seasons later, he goes and wins the Champions League. Season after, he goes and wins the Premier League. You check.
But do
So
you see
Ten
where that
Hag,
conversation leads to?
No, I get it. It's gonna go back to like the Glazers and the buying of players and da, 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 da. I get it. You
Yeah,
check. I know
yeah.
it's all connected. You check.
It's all
But
connected.
Ten Hag shouldn't repeat the same mistakes that and I feel like he's repeating some of the mistakes that he did last season. Yes, we do have injuries. Yes, it's difficult to rotate this team more because of those injuries. But those are the things that we need to see from Ten Hag. We need to see when all the players are back. We need to see that rotation happen more often than none. All the big managers in the Premier League are rotating their biggest players. Why isn't he? You know what I mean? And like I said, yes, I get the squad is thin, but regardless, if the game is lost, you might as well just still rotate the player. Maybe someone else will come and bring in something different because this team has just been unmotivated. We've been going into matches where we've dropped our heads. We haven't managed to secure a lead. We haven't managed to get ahead, when all the chances were available for us. He just needs to get into the habit of adjusting to this league and making the right decisions. Otherwise, this season and the following season, it's just gonna be it's gonna get worse, basically. It's gonna get worse. You check. So
All right,
yeah,
all right,
man.
all
Those are my thoughts about that. I don't even know what exactly.
right. No, we do this, man. It happens. We
Yeah, yeah,
tend to,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. True.
Rasmus
Um,
Hoyland, man, do you know anything on him?
Rasmus.
I hear that he's facing a late fitness test.
Yeah,
I don't know how bad his injury was, but hey, man, I'm getting sick and tired of these injuries. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing a player is injured,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
every time that happens, it's almost like somebody's scratching their nails on a chalkboard or something. Like
yeah,
it, oh,
yeah, yeah,
because not only for United but everywhere else. I'm looking at Rodrigo, Real Madrid injured,
yeah,
Vinicius, Bellingham, like everybody
yeah,
come up big is out for the rest of the season. It's like, guys, like what one?
yeah,
So for me at this point, I'm like, but I'm worried about Rasmus Hoyland because
yeah.
he's our guy. We still want to. Has he scored a goal in the Premier? Not yet, right? Oh, he has.
I'm not sure. Maybe he might have got a
Nah,
goal.
not yet.
Maybe.
Not yet. It was
Really?
just champions.
I don't know why it's so hard. Maybe he scored a goal, but it was offside or something.
Yeah, he has scored a couple of offside goals, yes,
Yeah.
and sort of attempted goals. Like just
Okay.
almost got there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, but just didn't.
Let me just check real quick.
Um,
No, he has. Oh yeah, yeah. He's on zero. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, he's on zero. Yeah,
0-0.
yeah,
He might have provided an assist. I don't know, but
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if there's anything else for us to talk about other than what you think
So
your starting lineup will be.
yeah,
I
so
mean, I know we haven't had the presser, but with the information coming out and how our club always gives us information,
yeah,
what are you? Oh, but what did you want to say just before I
yeah. What I
interrupted
want to
you
say
there?
is that we haven't really spoke about like what type of a threat Everton will be, and some of the players that we have to look out for because
Yes, yes.
apart from them, what you call is picking up form and stuff like that. When you look at our stats, you know, identical. So far this season, they have scored more goals than us, but it's only by a goal. So I think they have scored. Let me just check this out real quick. I was on the page just now. They have scored 14 goals so far in total. We have scored 13. So when you look at our goal scoring form, it's basically neck and neck.
Just-
Um, in terms
But
of
they're
clean
in the
sheets,
habit of scoring.
yes, yes, yes. They're in the
Like
habit
they've
of
found a
scoring.
habit of scoring in the
Yes,
Premier
yes.
League
So
as
you'd find
compared to
like
us.
where we cover that difference was probably over a game or two, whereas they have been more consistent, over the games in terms of scoring the goals. In terms of clean sheets, they have two. We have four so far this season. Um, yeah, I think maybe those are the two main things I wanted to just point out. But um, in terms of players, like man, who right now is doing it for Everton that you think United, need to keep an eye out for?
Who's Onana?
Everton, Onana, yeah.
Onana, Dokore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Idris Gaye, that midfield is ticking. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reason why Everton are doing the business that they're doing. Onana is a workaholic. He's actually
yeah,
somebody that we were linked to at one
yeah,
point, and I don't know why we didn't go for it because he's young. He's young. He's very combative. He's the kind of
yeah,
um, like in DD or Mikhail John Obi, that kind of, but then
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah,
robust.
yeah.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? And young. He looks old when you look at him. African players, we look
Yeah,
deceiving, but he's young.
yeah,
He's one to watch. He's the one that's going to be causing us a hole. And Dokore, because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dokore, he's a box to box, right?
yeah,
But he can sit and he can also attack. And recently, he has been given the license to bomb forward,
yeah,
almost as if like Scott McTominay,
yeah,
literally the exact same thing. Like he's been given the same license as Scott McTominay,
yeah.
bomb forward.
Like,
I don't
dude,
know how we are going to be able to deal with those guys because they've got some pacey guys, and then
yeah,
they've got this young guy who hasn't scored for them for a very long time,
okay,
but then now he's sort of found his goal scoring boots. Mikalenko,
okay.
the Ukrainian boy,
Yes, yes, yes.
their wing back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sort of finding himself in position.
Oh,
So if
yes, yes.
Everton are playing like a team,
Yeah,
if
they are.
Burnley's Sean Dyche, um, kind of heavy metal,
Yeah,
not really heavy, but they come at you. That they
yeah,
don't give you an opportunity to get your rhythm or get your flow. So that is something that we need to work on.
yeah,
United, we always take our time. That's one thing that pisses me off when I watch our football.
yeah,
You watch everybody else, everybody's moving the ball quick. Everybody's
yeah.
pinging the balls. They're not giving the opposition a chance to settle down and close the
Exactly.
gap.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
trying to make them keep on wondering.
yeah.
We take our
Hey,
time,
dude.
be it Maguire,
Hey, man.
be it Onana at the back, be it Bruno when he can't find somebody,
Yeah,
Rashford who just run forward and then take the ball back.
dude.
You know, if we are going to go to Everton timid, like, no, I can't.
Yeah,
They are going to come at us.
yeah,
Believe it.
yeah,
Believe it. They are
yeah,
going to
yeah,
come at us. And, man, I don't know. It's just going to be one of those games, like those Everton games,
yeah,
that we
yeah,
play against Everton, where you like, honestly, for me,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah,
This is the one game. Like I can tell you that the previous games I would have said, nah, we're gonna beat Everton.
yeah,
But I don't know why this particular one.
yeah.
Like
I'm also
Everton
nervous
is
about it.
stronger. Yeah. And then they've got Calvert Lewin, who they've been missing for a very long time due to
Yeah,
injury. Bro, we are
yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. So,
if Scott is not on it, if Bruno is not on it,
yeah,
that midfield, I don't know if Mason Mount or Amrabat, like I don't know who Eric Ten Hag is going to choose to be there. But
yeah,
we need guys who are ready to be combative,
yeah,
who are ready to go, blow for blow, because that's what Everton are going to do. Sean Dyche.
yeah, yeah.
Dyche football is man to man
Yep,
football.
yep.
4-4-2
Mm,
textbook old school shit.
yeah,
No zonal, no nothing.
yeah.
Man to man.
Mm,
And
mm.
they have got people. They've got McNeil. They've got Yangi.
Ashley Young not making a return, but yeah, facing up against
and
us, gonna be interesting. But
but
yeah,
one thing
man.
I would say is
Uh huh.
they shouldn't talk too much. Like we get it.
Yeah,
United were not in the good form, but every time you talk, because right now the only things I'm reading that Man United should be prepared.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. It's when you say things like this where things just do a 360.
Exactly.
So just be careful, be humble,
Yeah,
just beat us fair and square.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
start talking before the game because it
Exactly.
only makes our victory even more sweeter.
Yep. True that. True that. But
Yeah,
yeah, let me jump back to your question. You asking me about starting 11. So this one
yeah,
is really tough, eh? It's really tough.
very.
So goalkeeper, outside Benyenda, because
Really?
yeah, yeah, outside because so far I don't know if anyone knows, but we still haven't yet got an update on Onana's injury. We don't even know the extent of
An
it.
update
We
on
don't know
our.
how long. Yeah, so honestly, I don't know. And obviously, outside played for Turkey during this international break. So um,
And
I don't know how that relates to anything, but I just wanted to mention it that at least he's got some game time.
No, dude, I understand you. Ever since we bought him, boy hasn't played football. We haven't
Exactly.
seen him, so it
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
relevant,
You
my guy.
see, so
Yeah.
he's most probably going to start if Onana is injured. And if what you call this, I don't know. We'll probably get a more solid answer tomorrow during the press conference. But so far, it seems like
Mm.
Altai Benyinda is starting as our goalkeeper.
No, I think the presser should be today.
Is it gonna
Or
be
is it
today?
tomorrow?
Let me just check on the app real quick because sometimes it will tell you on the app when the presser is gonna be. But yeah, it could be today. It could be today because obviously, no, I think there are no matches today, right?
No.
Yeah, so if there are no matches today, then it shouldn't be today. It should be tomorrow.
The banger is tomorrow. The
Yeah,
first game.
first game is which one is it? It's City Liverpool.
Liverpool, Man City.
Sorry,
Yeah.
City
Yeah.
Liverpool. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah,
starting
yeah,
our weekend off
yeah,
to full
yeah,
of rice.
yeah.
Hey, we want to see some ass
Hey
whooping there,
man, because you
beating,
miss
some
football,
spanky
want to start
spanky.
off with a banger. But yeah,
And
man.
with a banger, my man. But yeah, man, please carry on. You're
So yeah,
starting.
outside goalkeeper, right back Aaron Wan-Bissaka, midfield pairing
Okay.
of Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. I still think Varane is still gonna be on the bench, sidelined, and
Yes,
then
yes.
left back Delo. All right, I don't think we're gonna see Luke Shaw in this game. I think the news is more about he's he's ready to start training, not ready to
Yes.
start. So we'll probably
Back on the
see.
field running.
Exactly. So I think the predictions of having Luke Shaw back in January make a lot of sense because November is almost done, right? We're gonna have a lot of games during December as usual. Okay. So
Yeah.
he may make a few cameos here and there, but in terms of like Luke Shaw like starting, I see January. I don't really see him starting. I think the news is just more about he's ready to start getting fit again, right? It's almost like
Right.
Kobe Mainu. We heard news about him like a month ago that he's back in training. You know what I mean? He's starting to get some minutes. It's only now he's playing full games. You understand? And that's
Yeah.
how that was a month ago. So we're only getting this news this week about Luke Shaw. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna, follow up the same trajectory. Same thing with Ahmed Diallo. Like we heard he's back in training. He's been training. We've seen footage of him training, but there's no news about him even being
Hey.
close to the first team. So Ahmed is probably gonna be back into the first team before Luke Shaw. So we can expect to see Ahmed probably mid-December, right? And then again, like I
How I
said,
want.
it's gonna be crazy because there's gonna be proper competition for Anthony. And now that in the previous game, Ten Hag
In fact, that
started
front
Rashford
three.
on the right, there's gonna be more competition now for Anthony because if Rashford is now an option for the right, it's Rashford, Anthony, Facundo, Diallo. If Greenwood comes back in January, that's Greenwood.
Again.
It's hectic.
No,
It's
but
hectic.
Greenwood. I think with Greenwood, man, Greenwood will be our striker.
Yeah,
I think Greenwood will be with Hoyland.
with Hoyland. So you
But
think you have you change the
yeah,
system like
I mean,
a four
he's
four
our
two diamond.
special front player. He can play
Yes,
on the left, on the right, or
exactly.
up top.
Yes.
But I think he wanted Mason Greenwood. He wanted that number nine spot. So
Yeah.
it'll be tricky because he's good.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
good.
Yeah, true.
He knows that goalpost from the edges of
Yep,
all that box. So
yep.
it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited. I'm excited, guys.
I let me
I'm
get through this.
excited.
Let me get through this. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the back four. Bisaka, Maguire, Victor Lindelof, um, Delo. All right. Midfield,
Yeah.
this is the tough one. This is the tough one. Casemiro, if I'm not mistaken, he should still be injured. He's not yet fit to
Yes.
start. I want
Yes.
to say Sofyan Amrabat, but he hasn't been starting of late. You see?
Yes.
So
There's
yes,
this.
he did
Yeah.
play in the international break, but I don't know. It's sort of I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put him there for now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sofyan Amrabat, then of course Maxos. Whether we like it or not.
Toffees.
Whether we like it or
Maxo.
not, McSauce is
I.
starting, right? And then of course our
Okay.
number 10, Bruno Fernandez. And then I see him going with the same front three of um
Ganache, Hoyland,
Garnacho,
and
Hoyland, and Rashford. If
Ganache.
Hoyland is fit to start, if Hoyland is not fit to start, I don't know why I have this strange feeling he will start Rashford as a striker, Garnacho as the number 11, and then play Anthony as the number 7. I just have this weird feeling about it. I don't think he will start
Oh,
Martial. Even though Martial is fit to start as the number 9, I
le-
still think he would favor Rashford in that position before Martial. I don't know why. It's just a hunch.
D, D, you know why? You know why? Martial, like, listen,
Yeah,
Martial can complain all he wants. He
yeah,
can sulk all he wants, but he
yeah.
needs to be grateful for whatever game time he gets.
True.
However, because we can start him in the game and then he picks up an injury, doesn't finish the
Exactly.
game, we're not gonna see him for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
What's the point?
yeah,
When he gives us flavor, Martial
mm,
gives us flavor. So you know
yeah,
why he
yeah,
won't
yeah,
start.
yeah.
You know, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my starting 11. I'm 100%, and I want to say this with my chest, that Kobe Mainu will get minutes. So he will be subbed on. Yeah. I think he's a player that Ten Hag
I
likes.
wouldn't be surprised if he starts.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if he starts, but I don't think so. I think he's a player that he wanted to incorporate into his season. Because when you look at the youngsters that played in preseason, like the usual Bush, Shaya Solitaya, all those boys, Forsen, etc., etc. I think the two players
Hugo,
that
Hugo.
really had a lot of, or three players that had a lot of game time was Ahmad Diallo, um, what you call this, Kobe Mainu, and Maybury. Those are the three players from the academy, or the young players, let me
Yeah.
say, that were given a lot of time, game time during preseason.
And Hernandez, our
Oh
left
yes,
back.
yes, yes, yes. Our left back Hernandez, he was also given game time.
Dan Go. Dan
Then
Go.
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you
That's it.
look at so I'm now looking at the first team now and the ones from preseason that have actually played. We haven't seen Forsen, we haven't seen Dan Gore, we haven't seen them, but we have seen Kobe on the bench. Um, we have seen maybe starting and playing. Diallo was just unfortunate to pick up an injury before the season kicked off,
For
and
the
and
season.
Kobe Menu. But obviously, I meant like Kobe Menu in recent times now that he's back in training and is now fit to play football again. So I definitely see Kobe Mino coming in um, during the match against Everton. Yeah, start getting some time, and I wouldn't be surprised if over time he is going
Mhm.
to be a starter in the team before January. Like I said in a couple of episodes before, that Casemiro is a player that we need to write off now. And we need to start figuring out how we're moving forward without him, because the amount
Yeah.
of injuries
Yeah.
that is picking up
Unfortunately.
this season
Unfortunately.
and the way the refs are always against him. Like, this is the first time in his career he's picking up red cards. You check, VAR has been absolutely shit this season. So yeah, man, that's my predictor starting 11. I don't know if you want me to give you my score now, or do you want to give you your predicted 11 and then we'll do the scores at the end?
Okay. I'm just going to like just replace players in your starting
Yeah, yeah,
11.
yeah.
In your starting 11. So you had
All right.
Dalot at left back. I am just going to trust that Luke Shaw is going to play, even though I know I said that I'm skeptical, but
Yeah,
I miss Roberto Carlos. So just because I miss him, it's just a
yeah,
little bit of naivete and me just being a fan, or because I'm like, oh, I
yeah,
need you, Shaw. I
yeah.
need you, Roberto. I need you. So I'm gonna pick him in there.
Okay.
Um, Linda, Lind, Lindelof and Maguire,
why are you
because I
doubting?
know
Why are you doubting Lindelof, man?
I'm not doubting him, because I was trying to think if um, Evans was injured or not. And then
Yeah.
I remembered that he is injured. He picked up
So,
that injury then.
so you think Johnny Evans would have priority over Victor Lindelof if he
I
was
think he
fit?
would have started. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not like it's something that it is the first time it has happened. There were times when we were wondering why Lindelof doesn't start in that CB position, and then the gaffer will play him at left back. Remember? And
Yeah,
we're like, okay, cool, we understand why he does it.
yeah,
So just because of that, like, I feel like he prefers tall defenders.
yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with Lindelof, no, but I'm just
yeah,
saying if they're all fit, I think he would just start Evans. I think for the fuck of it, I don't know why.
yeah.
And then in that midfield, did you put Amrabat?
Yes, I did. I put
You
Amrabat
did.
and Scotty.
Now, I would have. I'm sticking with Amrabat, but for some reason I don't know. I feel like Amrabat has fallen out with the manager. I'm
Yeah,
reading some very strange stuff. I don't know
yeah,
what.
yeah,
Maybe he's not the right profile of player. Maybe he's
yeah,
not understanding. I don't know.
yeah,
But Ericsson is injured, so Ericsson was usually the player that they'll put at that base.
yeah,
So I don't see him doing that. So
yeah.
because of that, I see him put Amrabat,
Okay.
and then he will have Bruno and McTominay do that bombing that they've been doing.
Yeah,
Like what they've been doing all along, they'll be doing it. But
yeah,
then they'll you have somebody at that base, and then Garnacho, Hoyland, and Rashford.
yeah,
That's how I see it. I think Anthony is done.
yeah,
Anthony is class.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. I also see Anthony as
I don't,
done. I see because obviously they can't
I
get
don't
rid
want
of
to say
him.
he's done, but hey,
No, I hear you.
for him to
And
get his position back,
yeah, he has to
yo,
like his game has to elevate so high
yo,
because it's almost like we
yo,
have seen the best that he can do, and his
yes,
best is not good enough for United standards, you know.
mm-mm,
So I
mm-mm.
don't know which club is going to take him off his current contract before it expires, but I don't think there's any club in the world right now, any top club like top four club that's looking at Anthony and saying, you know what, if United release him or if United put him on the
But
market, we're interested. So I see him going
you
to
know,
like an Everton, you know what I mean, like a West Ham,
you know what's funny?
Brighton. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I actually think he's a good player. I
he
actually think
is.
he's a good addition to us. You know, I just and this might shock a lot of people. People might think that I'm pulling this thing out of my ass, or maybe I'm like, Ben.
Yeah.
But D, correct me if I'm wrong. Remember after he did the Anthony spin,
Ah, yeah, yeah. It was late for him.
it was late.
Yeah,
He got flack, and then he started questioning his football. I'm
yeah,
sorry, but that is true. Us who pay attention to our players,
yeah,
you know, we like when we always talk about Martial, when we pay attention to his mood, his
yeah,
gestures, talk about this.
yeah,
Anthony is the same thing. Anthony was happy coming to United.
yeah,
Like he was in that thing of like, I'm just going to come and entertain you guys and bring this salsa to you guys. You
yeah,
know what I mean? What I'm doing is, but then when he tried to do it and then it flopped, we shut him
yeah,
down. And
yeah,
then the
yeah,
guys like, and then he started becoming very cautious of himself. You know, like when you're like insecure about something.
yeah.
I think that was the beginning of his insecurities, and it hasn't turned back. I still think that there's a good player there.
Mm,
I think I just don't know what his mentality is when he's facing this kind of
yeah,
situation. You know, when you have lost your place,
yeah,
how do you bounce back?
yeah.
Luke Shaw has been there, berated by the
Exactly.
special one. But I
Mm,
believe the special one, in some weird way, elevated Luke Shaw's game.
yeah,
Like he made him a man
yeah.
by exposing him to. It was wrong when he did
Yes.
it in the way that he did,
Yeah,
but it worked. You know,
yeah,
almost like what we thought would happen with Sancho.
yeah, yeah,
So Anthony, I believe that there's a player there. There
yeah,
is. He's just at that point where he's just not sure of himself
yeah.
because he feels like everything that he does is going to be questioned.
True.
And let us not forget that the British media don't hold back.
Yeah.
Those guys really. Players can say that they don't listen, they don't read, they don't do this, but
Mm,
man, they do.
yeah.
They come across certain things, and when they hear those things, as a human being, it can hurt.
True.
And I believe that Anthony, bruh, I just
Yeah.
don't know what his attitude is for fighting. You know, maybe he should take a page out of Wan Bissaka or Rashford from last season
Yeah.
or Maguire. You know,
Maguire.
like,
Yeah.
yo, how did you bounce back, my
Yeah.
bro? Like, how did you do it? Huh?
Mm,
Porra, how did you do it? You know,
yeah.
and then I don't know, but I still think there's a good player in there.
Yeah. True.
I still think so. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's football,
Yeah.
you know?
Nah. Yeah. You.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, Rashford, Garnacho, Hoyland.
Okay.
But like you as well, if Hoyland is injured, Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony
Yeah.
on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I still think he, even though he's insisting on starting Mount while he was in the first stages of the season, I still think he would favor Anthony in that position over Mount. So you forgot about
That
Mason
is
Mount injury.
provided that that is no, that is provided that Amrabat plays.
Yeah.
Because if Amrabat doesn't play,
Yeah,
then he'll probably find a way to slot in Mount in that midfield, which
yeah,
will be a so imbalanced fucking
yep,
midfield because
yep,
none of those players there have got a defensive mind.
yep.
Even Scott is worse.
And
So I don't even
Decore
know
is
how
just
that's
gonna
going to work.
he's just going to Yaya Toure himself across the midfield.
You see. So I just don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. All right, score predictions. I like this part.
I hate this part.
I love it. I love it because we're
I fucking hate it. I
do you know
fucking
why I
hate
love it, fam? Because we're so conflicted with like the passion and the heart. You know what I mean? For like, but
it.
no, we're united. They're Everton. You know what I mean? Like we should go there and blast them 3-0.
Oh,
You check, and then we want to go with that spirit. But on the other hand, we know that ish man, kind of we can just go there and get slapped around. And then on the other hand, it's like this can be a stalemate. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So I love yeah, so that's why I love it because we're so much in conflict. Like we never get to this stage of the episode and we're so decisive. Like, oh yeah, it's some games, yes, some games, but we'll still have that little bit of doubt. Like, oh, we're playing Luton, we should win. Yes, but you never, you know what I mean? So with this Everton one, I love it because there's just so much, internal conflict of we
All right.
I don't
I am
know.
going to go with a 2-1 to Everton.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
The
okay.
reason why
Yeah,
is I know we've beaten them at Goodison Park. I know that.
yeah, yeah,
But like I said, like we've talked in the beginning of the message of the episode,
yeah, yeah,
they are sort of in a mood,
yeah,
you know? They're very volatile. I don't know what they're going to bring.
yeah,
And with that hostility, that anger,
yeah,
going to such grounds can be very, very daunting.
yeah,
And Goodison Park kind of mimics the rivals, the Anfield, with how close it is and how small it is.
yeah,
I feel our players, when they get to those kind of crowds, we tend to bottle it, like we tend to get in our heads.
yeah,
And I feel like Everton are just going to ride that momentum. So
yeah,
because of that, and also the fact that we away are not very, very good,
yeah,
we are a hit and miss going away.
yeah,
The atmosphere is going to be terrible. Like they're going to make us feel it.
yeah,
Whether it was, and I think it's even worse now because they've been hard done by. They
yeah,
need the 3 points. So it's going to be,
yeah. It's gonna be a
and I
tough
just
one.
don't believe our players don't have the heart. Like we have
Yeah,
some players, but some of them they don't have that heart to deal with adversity.
yeah.
So because of that, this is based on history. Because of that, I see a 2-1. And the
Okay.
person that I see scoring the goal for us is Bruno. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
because here's the thing, Bruno and Martial
Yeah.
have got a very good record against Everton. So if
Okay.
we want a high chance of playing that game, Martial needs to feature in that game, but he
Yeah.
needs time. So if you're bringing him in, it needs to be 60 minutes or after half time or something like that, so he can get time because you will score
Yeah.
on Bruno. So this game, I think Bruno will score
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one.
All right. All
What's
right. I
your
hear you.
prediction?
Mine is difficult, eh? I don't know. Like I sort of agree with your score line, but I don't know who I should give it in favor of because I think that last two goal or that winning goal is going to be like a dramatic last minute extra time 13-minute extra time minute goal. You know what I mean? So
I feel like
I don't know which
we've
way it's
we've
going.
we've abused that thing. That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't give it. But anyway, carry on.
So I think it's gonna be 1-1 for like a long time. I sort of see like an early goal coming in, like in the first 10-15 minutes. I see a very early goal, and then I see like a
From
struggle.
who?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. And then I see like a struggle equalizer. Yeah. And then it's gonna be like all out, back to back football, all out, all out, all out, all out. And then this is
End
gonna
to
be
end
that,
football.
yeah, there's gonna be that last
Yeah.
minute like banger, to seal the victory. But Yeah, I don't know. For the first time, I don't know. Um, I feel like I want to flip a coin. You know what I mean? And just be like whatever the coin says. But nah, 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 nah. Let me grow a pair. So I'm gonna
No, we
say
can even do a.
a rock paper scissors thing. Oh man, but you know what, man?
Yeah.
I want to believe United are gonna win this one, right? And not win when when we say win, we don't say confidently or smash. Win is even a 1-0. It's a win, right? So people shouldn't get it twisted when we say, oh, United are gonna go win. We don't mean they're gonna go there and pull out a performance. No. We're just saying they're gonna get a result. Whether we play poorly or well, it doesn't matter. Win's a win. So I see us yeah, I see us losing. I'm going with your Yeah, I'm going with yours as well. I think 2-1. 2-1. And it's only
And
it's only based on the fact that Everton are playing better as a unit than we are.
thank you.
Plus, when you look at
Yes.
that midfield is a much more bigger threat than ours.
And we want our listeners and our viewers to understand that it's not that we want United to lose.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
you will see the match reaction if we smack them. We're
exactly.
gonna be here jubilating and
Yeah,
talking
of
about the
course,
goals and that we're
100%.
happy about the win.
Yeah,
But we're just being realistic. We're not
yeah.
trying to
To be
you
negative
know
or
fool ourselves. And
yeah,
another thing that we've talked about numerous times is judging United on its base, like on its current form,
yeah,
and stop thinking of United as this great club that it used to
exactly.
be. Because the moment you do that, you limit your thinking and your
Yep,
judgment. You know what
yep,
I mean? You start thinking now because we're Manchester United, we should be smacking them.
yep,
We should be, but whoa, this is not that United that had Tevez,
yeah,
Ronaldo,
yeah,
Rooney, Carrick,
dude.
you know what I mean? Like
Balls.
this Vida, Ferdinand, like come on,
It's not
it's
that
not it.
team. It's not
It's
it.
not it.
It's not
We
it.
had different kind of like
Yep.
those players that we had back then were built different.
Yep.
These ones are new caliber. So
Dude.
we're not saying that we want them to lose,
Yeah.
but we're being realistic and we've given you our reasons.
Exactly.
Everton, they are pissed off.
They're
You
pissed.
don't want to go to a club that feels really
Hard done
done
by.
by the authorities.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that
Mm.
because they're gonna be like,
Mm.
all right, we'll see. You don't want that. Then you
Dude.
go. I mean,
Plus, we're
like
playing
you
them
mentioned,
home. We're playing at the home ground. So it's not only the players, it's the fans, the whole
the
atmosphere.
fans.
Plus, we're rivals,
Then,
you know? And you've seen
yeah,
what the fans do for teams. Look what the fans have done for us on numerous occasions this season.
thank
You know what I
you.
mean? The
Great.
fans are going to be behind Everton. They're not going to boo them. They're not going to get mad with them. Even if they concede first, even if we
They're
score
gonna keep
first,
on pushing
they're
you.
going to keep
Yeah,
on pushing them and saying, you are going to get this win. We're standing behind you. Let's go. You know?
yeah.
So, yeah, man.
And we understand also that our players, when they are like faced with such situation, we've seen it numerous times.
Yep.
They there's arguing, there's little people, everyone is petulant,
Hmm.
people like, we start seeing this bad behavior, and then we start seeing our manager sort of lose control
Yeah.
of the substitutions, who comes in, who comes off, who stays on,
Yeah.
all those things. And then it's just a culmination of a lot of things
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that United are going to lose. We're not wishing them. No.
Yeah.
We're just being realistic, giving you the facts, giving you our reasons why we think that this might end the way it will. So don't hate us. Oh, don't kill us or
Yeah.
something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, man, it's very hard to
Oh, sorry.
predict against your club.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
It hurts.
It does.
But until they change their course, until we get some sort of consistency. Last
Yeah.
season, we saw it. After that Brentford game,
Yeah.
we went on games where we were smacking teams. We started feeling confident. I
Yeah.
mean, we were still in our cages. We're still like, should we? Should we? But no, United can send us back into the cave. But we're
Yeah.
like, nah. Then they go in. They won. They
Yeah.
won. They
Yeah.
won. 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 1-0. We were getting them
Yeah.
playing better than we were playing this season. So
100%.
we want that. So until we get that,
Yeah.
it's still gonna be touch and go when it comes to these
Yeah.
predictions.
I hear you.
And if these front three guys don't score goals. They need to score.
Yeah.
They need to score because we're gonna keep on giving, like, assuming that we're going to score less.
Yeah.
Our goals, everybody else that has scored in midfield, defenders, you know, right back, left back. The only person left now is the goalkeeper to score. And then
Yeah.
we'll be like, now shame on you, front three. Shame. You're waiting for Onana to hit a long range.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nah, you.
So yeah, man.
Nah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thanks for that. Usually I'd say any last remarks, but nah, those are your last remarks.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are your last remarks. But anyway, thank you once again, guys, for listening to another episode of the Glory Reds FC podcast. Of course, you can find us on all your favorite podcasting streaming platforms with Glory Reds FC. And now that we finally have the video footage on YouTube, you can find us here as well if you want to see us, Babylon about, yeah, what we do best. But with that being said, thank you again for listening to this episode, and we are out. Peace.